Hi and welcome to the Ruby Tuesday. My name is Ruben and this is my review for Netflix's original series, The Chosen One. So this is a Brazilian series, it's in Portuguese. One of my first recommendations with this series is to watch it in its original language. I tried watching the dubbing and I didn't think it was that great. I watched about half an hour of the first episode and I stayed with the original language and subtitles for the rest of the series. So The Chosen One is 6 episodes long. Each episode is 45 minutes long and it centers around 3 doctors. So 3 doctors are sent to a village where they're not supposed to go to bring a Zika vaccine, because there's this virus that's been kind of doing its rounds, it's epidemic wise, and they need to go to this village where they've been told not to go to and bring this group the vaccine. And you would think if you're sick and dying that let's take this, but it's one of those villages that we've seen represented in films and cult movies and TV series before, where they don't allow medicine to be used in their village because they believe it will bring them harm. They believe they should not take any medicine from the outside world because it's not good for them. But at the same time, doctors don't understand that, and they want to come and help them because they need to stop them from getting the Zika virus, which is pretty serious if you know anything about the Zika virus. And so you have this clash of cultures right from the get. And then what you see is the story evolve into what is essentially, as the title goes, the Chosen One. And there's this leader who can seemingly perform miracles, and one of his rules is not to have outsiders. But when he meets one of the doctors, he seems to be interested in her for reasons I won't go into because of spoilers. The first 2 episodes of The Chosen One introduces the doctors into this world, and I have to say I didn't quite buy them as doctors for the first 2 episodes. The story drags. If it wasn't for the flashbacks of the first 2 episodes of these characters and fleshing out these characters, I would have been totally bored with these characters because they felt very one-dimensional. But it wasn't until the end of episode 2 and at the beginning of episode 3 where I suddenly was intrigued with what was going on, because you were introduced to the kind of protagonist, bad guy, kind of the Chosen One, and he has a lot of presence on screen. Whenever he is on screen, you get this really kind of oogie feeling. Yes, that's a technical term, an ooginess. He brings that kind of foreboding that you need in a bad guy or a guy within this role. And so he leads this, what I would consider, for anybody from the outside looking in, would consider this to be a cult, a group, a cult. And this series reminded me of films like The Wicker Man, those cult TV series and films that you get in the past, where people are just besotted with some guy or some person and leads them down what looks on the outside to be just mental, but on the inside everybody just buys their lies left, right and center, especially when they're performing miracles. And that story is what kind of holds The Chosen One together, because for the first few episodes, like I said, it was quite dull. The filming was kind of blur, the acting was kind of blur, but there is a moment where suddenly it picks up, where the story is interesting, and then it gets weird. Like, it's seriously weird. From episode 3, 4 and 5, it just gets bizarre. Like, think Wicker Man, but then add horror-esque elements. It's in the jungle, it's in the village, it's there's weird mask ritual dancing, there's weird sex scenes, there's just weirdness. And it works. I think that they were building up to it, so they took their time to kind of introduce this world that they were trying to establish, although I think they could have gotten to it quickly. I'm glad that it's only 6 episodes long, because I think if they dragged the story out any longer than that, they only really had enough story for 6 episodes, so if they dragged it out any longer than that, it would have been boring. So the first 2 episodes, like I said, is pretty dull. But from about 3, 4, 5, it gets really interesting. If you like weird Wicker Man-esque magical fairy dust shows. That's not a term or anything to do with genres, but it's what I kind of felt like when I was watching it. It's weird, it's Wicker Man, there's miracles, there's cults. The acting, I feel like, picks up because there are characters that hold presence on screen. Some of the cinematography gets better. The music, I thought, was a letdown. I didn't think the score really drove any of the episodes. There were tones and things that I thought was okay, but for the most part, it's the weird story that kind of keeps you watching episode by episode. I don't think you need to binge this one. It's not a series that kept me gripped with every episode. Saying that, at the end of episode 6, they do leave it on a cliffhanger. So it does look like they're coming back for a second season. They've got more story to tell. But I am glad they kind of wrapped up an individual arc. And then now they've got somewhere else to go. Without giving any spoilers, this kind of Chosen One storyline develops and leaves enough for a second season, I think. I think episodes 3, 4, 5, and 6 were okay. And the acting got better from episodes 1 and 2. So if you started this out and you've put it down, you're going, oh, I can't handle this. This feels like a TV series. It feels like I'm watching Neighbours, a Brazilian Neighbours series. Then give it another go, because I think from episode 3, you'll be much more intrigued with what's going on. That the filming techniques and the acting all get better from there. And the story is the most interesting part of this, I think. Let me know what you thought about this series. Are you going to check it out? Have you watched it already? Did you like it? This is the first time I think I'm watching a Portuguese series, and I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was great. I didn't think it was terrible. I'm going to put it in around the C+ mode, because I think the subsequent episodes got better, but it didn't start off that great. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. I've got Stranger Things Season 3 review coming this week, so check that out. But most of all, until next time, remember, live long and Tuesday.